Well, hey there, how's it going? It's good to see you today. I wanted to tell you this morning when I started the day, I noticed this really crazy thing on my phone, which was I looked at the stocks that I'm about to buy, and they were almost every single one of them red, except one. One of them was still green. And it got me thinking about something, which was I was not upset at this because, as you probably know, I'm about to invest in at least 5 stocks for the Animal Donut ETF, ANDO. Not a real ETF, you can't buy shares. It's a fictitious one that I'm making so I can chart my progress in investing in these stocks. But I was so unbothered by looking at all of these stocks in this hypothetical portfolio because I haven't bought them yet. So I don't own them. So I don't care that they're down. And then the other thought was actually that this is pretty good because they've lost some of them like just 2 or 3 or 4% maybe, and then some of them were down like 7% or 9%. So it was kind of a relief because these are the kinds of things that usually happen right after you buy stock, and then the next day they just crash. But in this situation, I was just like unbothered by it. It didn't affect me one way or the other. And it just got me thinking that this is the mindset I think that we should strive for as investors or as traders, which is a professional approach where whatever happens in the market happens, but it's not happening to you. You're not a victim of it. And these prices are just opportunities, either to buy a stock if it's at the price that we think is cheap enough and we want to own it, or if the price has gone up enough and you decide, you know what, I want to sell this and then take a profit. So anyways, first off, not financial advice, just sharing with you some thoughts about this. I'm just going to run through these stocks here. Now, some of these I know I'm going to buy. For example, Axsome Therapeutics, AXSM, I will be buying this stock. Probably by the time you watch this video, I will have already purchased this stock. Constellation Energy, ticker symbol CEG, is another one that I'm going to be buying. Vistra Energy, VST. Eaton, which is ETN. Medpace, which is MEDP. Modine, or Modine, which is MOD. Toll Brothers, TOL. Applied Materials, AMAT, AMAT. NexGen, which is NXE. And Camico, which is CCJ. Now, what I want to do, I just want to list them for you. What I think is most interesting in this list was those last two, NexGen and Camico. Now, these are both companies located in Canada, and they are uranium miners. And I got interested in this because 2 of the companies I will be investing in for sure are Constellation and Vistra, and they're both involved in nuclear energy, clean energy production. But they all rely on uranium in order to run these nuclear reactors. So I thought, hey, rather than just invest in the power generating companies, how about investing in the commodity that's crucial and in demand to make nuclear energy? So I looked into NexGen and into Camico. And I'm not sure if I'm going to buy this right away or if I'm going to wait a little bit, but the thing that struck me is the volatility in the stock price. I'm just going to take a look right now and let you know what the jump in price was. It looks like Camico was down 8.03% as of the close of the market, and NexGen was down negative 9.82%. Now, the reason NexGen, I believe, was down so much is because they announced something called a CDI, but it's a offering of additional stock. So they are issuing more stock so that they can get money in exchange for the stock because the company needs some more money to do whatever they're doing with mining uranium. And I think this had a big effect negative on the stock price because what they're doing is diluting existing shareholders, and anyone who owns the stock might have been disappointed that they're just flooding the market with a bunch of new stock. And then the other potential perception is that the company's not doing financially as well as hoped, and they're issuing these stocks because they need to raise more money, which again doesn't give a lot of confidence to investors. I don't take this kind of action as something I'm learning from. I'm not trying to like figure out what this means, especially because I don't own this stock right now as of yet. 9.82%. It doesn't bother me because I did not see that loss while I was a shareholder. But I think what I'd like to do is adopt this mindset of not caring and just being unbothered when stock prices fluctuate, because I have and you have no control over where the price of a stock goes after you buy it. The only thing you can control is when you buy that stock, how long you hold it, and then when you decide to sell it. But to have an opinion or to have an expectation as to what that stock will do when you own it is foolishness, because it's something over which you have no control. So I'm just making this video today mostly to mention which stocks I'm considering, because I think it's nice to kind of let you guys know my thought process, but also to introduce this concept of having no expectation when you buy a stock. And because that stock and the market have no idea that you own them, and they have no responsibility to you, and they don't owe you anything. And so just realize that you have a lot more control over your life, over your stock purchases and your sales. And that is really the only thing that you can decide on. That's the only thing really under your control when you invest. So when you are watching this video, I think I will either be purchasing these stocks, at least 5 of them. And the 4 that I'm sure of are Axsome, AXSM, Constellation, CEG, Vistra, VST, Eaton, ETN. The others, I'm not exactly sure if or when I'm going to buy them, but I like to just let you guys know about this. And again, the other thing that really struck me was how much these uranium stocks fluctuate. And I think it's good before you become an owner in stocks to kind of understand the company, but also be aware of the swings. And I think because these are, especially NexGen is a very small company and it's in this commodity market, the prices can swing a lot due to supply and demand of that particular element. And also, a company like this decides to issue shares. Again, totally out of your control. You have no say in that. And so I think that the professional investor or the wise investor does not let themselves get too high when something good happens, and they don't let themselves go too low if something, quote, bad happens. None of these really should have adjectives like good or bad. They're simply movements of the market which are, for the most part, very random and 100% out of our control. So thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you think about what I've talked about and maybe any of the stocks that I've mentioned. Always good to hear your opinions and your thoughts in the comment section. And the next video I make, I will probably have some stories for you about which stocks I bought and whatever happened with the pricing. If tomorrow, or today when you're watching this, is anything like the day I'm recording this, there's going to be a lot of volatility and fluctuations in price in these stocks that I'm buying. So I am going to tell you all about it. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching, and I will see you in the next video.